In Canadian public life, this kind of pomp and ceremony is relatively rare. The King and Queen's visit has been well received, even for those generally indifferent to their country's connection to the Crown. Seen as a visible show of support in the face of trade wars and takeover talk from President Trump. The centrepiece, the King's speech from the throne to open Parliament, a carefully worded assertion of Canada's sovereignty.
Every time I come to Canada, a little more of Canada seeps into my bloodstream, and from there straight to my heart. I've always had the greatest admiration for Canada's unique identity, which is recognized across the world for bravery and sacrifice in defense of national values and for the diversity and kindness of Canadians.
And there were personal touches too, but this was a speech essentially written by the government here.
Many Canadians are feeling anxious and worried about the drastically changing world around them. Fundamental change is always unsettling. Yet this moment is also an incredible opportunity for renewal, an opportunity to think big and to act bigger.
The King's message was what royal sources had always described as a diplomatic tightrope here. But it was clear and direct. Canada, he said, is a sovereign country with a national identity that it should protect and be proud of. A walkabout with a clamour to get to the royal couple rounded off this flying visit to Canada. One where the Prime Minister seemed pleased he'd offered his guests the invitation.
The King is the King of Canada. He saw all institutions from Indigenous peoples through to the Senate, the Parliament, the Supreme Court, the military represented for the speech from the throne. Brilliantly delivered, I might add, by His Majesty. And you see the enthusiasm for those institutions, and even for me.
The King quoted the Canadian national anthem in his speech. The true north, he said, is indeed strong and free, on a trip filled with symbolism and friendship. Daniela, BBC News, Ottawa.